Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Okay, we welcome all of you to our weekly online Krishna book classes. We have with us here Devina, Hari, Joli Nandwani, Karuna, Makarena, Manju Nihalani, Meenakshi, N.C. Venkachari. Then we have Auntie Neeta. My husband is there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani, Romi, Shailesh Latkar, Shreya Kalaria. We have Shri Radhe Hari Devidasi. We have Swapna Latkar. And we have Wendy Perez. Okay. So, what did we see in the previous class?
Krishna is entering Mathura.
Krishna has entered Mathura. Then, what did we see in that?
how he interacted with the people of Mathura.
He has interacted with the people of Mathura and how he has left an impact on the Mathura Vasis, no? Because we saw when Krishna was leaving Vrindavan, the gopis had predicted, they had said that how Krishna will always also have a great impact on the residents of Mathura, and how the residents of Mathura will also be very fortunate to see Krishna, to have the association of Krishna. So we see how, yes, it is true, and how the residents of Mathura are also wonderstruck when they see the beauty, the unparalleled beauty of Krishna and Balaram. And also, they consider themselves fortunate because they have heard about Krishna's feats in Vrindavan. They have heard how he has killed demons, etc. So now they are seeing him face to face. Has Krishna met Kamsa yet?
No.
Not yet.
Yes, not yet. Okay. So today, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we will see chapter number 42 of Krishna book, titled The Breaking of the Bow in the Sacrificial Arena. Now, what is this bow? And what is the sacrificial arena?
He
So,
comes to the fish.
Kamsa had called for a function wherein there would be a wrestling match. So he had called people from all over his kingdom to participate in and watch that wrestling match. And there was supposed to be a sacrifice at the beginning of that uh, wrestling match, and the bow was a part of that.
Yeah, so it's a bow sacrifice, right? A bow sacrifice in the sense that he has kept the bow to a huge bow and very well decorated bow to, what's that word? As an indication that this is the festival that we are going to be celebrating, right? And he invited Krishna and Balaram in order to participate in that festival. And he has made plans how he's going to try and kill, how he wants to kill Krishna. So he has plan A, plan B, plan C, like that, no? So this is the sacrificial arena, and that's the bow that Kamsa has kept there, a very well decorated huge bow to indicate that sacrifice.
Mataji, who invited Krishna? Kamsa invited Krishna and Balaram?
Yes, Kamsa,
So
yes.
does he know at that point in time that this is Krishna and he's going to kill him?
Yeah, he knows because remember Narada Muni has revealed to Kamsa that the person you're looking for is actually Krishna, and he was switched at birth, and how Vasudev had gone to Vrindavan and those things. So yes, now Kamsa has been informed about it. So he knows, and that's why he sends Akrura to Mathura to bring Krishna and Balaram to he sends Akrura to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. You remember that chapter? You're on mute.
I remember the chapter, but I forgot the connection.
Okay. So now you know. All right. Let's read. After leaving the florist place, Krishna and Balaram saw a hunchbacked young woman carrying a dish of sandalwood pulp through the streets. Since Krishna is a reservoir of all pleasure, he wanted to make all his companions joyous by cutting a joke with the hunchbacked woman. Krishna addressed her, O tall young woman, who are you? Tell me, for whom are you carrying this sandalwood pulp in your hand? I think you should offer this sandalwood to me, and if you do so, I am sure you will be fortunate. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he knew everything about the hunchback. By his enquiry, he indicated that there was no use in serving a demon. She would do better to serve Krishna and Balaram and get an immediate result of the service. So here, Krishna and Balaram, they have come across a hunchback young woman. Does anybody know her name?
Ubja.
Yes, her name is Kubja. The word Kubja means what? The word Kubja translates to
One who is whom, I mean, I'm assuming ugly.
yeah, deformed. No, one who is deformed or crooked. No, that's what the name Kubja means. Why? Because she was a hunchback. No, she has a bent body. Therefore, she is called as Kubja. Another name of Kubja is Tri Vakra. Tri means three, and Vakra means bent. So she was bent, her body was bent at three places: neck, chest, and waist. Because, and therefore, she is also called as Trivakra. So the word Vakra means bent. Lord Ganesh is called as Vakratunda. No? Why is he called Vakratunda?
Because his trunk is crooked.
Yes, his trunk is bent. Therefore, he's called as Vakratunda. No? Vakra means bent and Tunda means his trunk. So the word Vakra means bent. Okay, and coming to this point here, we will discuss this after a few slides, that Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. Therefore, he is cutting a joke with the hunchback woman. So, what is a joke that Krishna has made here?
He's calling the hunch woman a young woman, a tall young woman.
Yes, exactly. No, so he's saying that she's hunchback, she's bent, but he's joking that, oh, tall young woman. So this is the joke that he is doing. And why is he cutting this joke?
Because he
He
wants
wanted his
mercy.
companions to be joyous. He
He
wanted
wants
the companions to be
Yes, see here, exactly.
joyous.
He wanted to make all his companions joyous. So therefore, he is cutting a joke with her and calling her, addressing her as, "Oh, tall young woman," when actually she is a hunchback woman. Now, this is not a malicious joke by Krishna. He is actually going to make her like this. He is actually going to make her tall, young, and beautiful. We will see that later in this chapter.
So is this an offering? Is this a offering in uh, indirect offering that he is making, that give me the sandalwood and
Yes, he is indicating to her that you will be better off serving me than serving a demon, because she's taking the sandalwood pulp for Kamsa, a demon. Like, she's rendering services to the demon. So he's indicating to her, as here Prabhupada writes, see. By his inquiry, he indicated that there was no use in serving a demon. She would do better to serve Krishna and Balaram and get an immediate result of the service. So he's indicating to her that you are better off serving us. And then she does follow Krishna's advice, and then he also reciprocates by turning her into a beautiful, tall young woman. Okay, so we will discuss this particular thing. He's a reservoir of all.
Mataji, sorry. Mataji, what was her name?
She is
Ubja?
called as Kubja or Trivakra.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the woman replied to Krishna, "My dear Shyama Sundara, dear beautiful dark boy, you may know that I am engaged as a maid servant of Kamsa. I am supplying him pulp of sandalwood daily. The king is very much pleased with me for supplying this nice thing. But now I see that there is no one who can better be served by this pulp of sandalwood than you two brothers. Being captivated by the beautiful features of Krishna and Balaram, their talking, their smiling, their glancing, and their other activities, the hunchback woman began to smear all the pulp of sandalwood over their bodies with great satisfaction and devotion. The two transcendental brothers, Krishna and Balaram, were naturally beautiful and had beautiful complexions, and they were nicely dressed in colorful garments. The upper portions of their bodies were already very attractive, and when the hunchback woman smeared their bodies with sandalwood pulp, they looked even more beautiful. Krishna was very much pleased by this service, and he began to consider how to reward her. So now Krishna addressed her as a tall young woman, and she is addressing Krishna as
My dear Shyam
my dear
Sundar.
Sham
Shyama
Sundaram,
Sundar. Shyama Sundar
dear
means
beautiful
what?
dark boy.
Yeah, Shyama Sundar. Sundar
Shyam.
means beautiful. Shyama means dark. No, so she's addressing Krishna as, dear beautiful dark boy. And then she says, yes, actually, I'm taking this for the king, but there is no one better than you two brothers whom I should use this in service. So she is very much captivated by the beauty of Krishna, especially. In other words, in order to draw the attention of the Lord, the Krishna conscious devotee has to serve him in great love and devotion. Krishna cannot be pleased by any action other than transcendental loving service unto him. There is some mistake here. 1 second.
There is a mistake of only one line. After that, I think it's okay.
So, what is the correction we have to make? 1 second, let me see.
No, so if you skip that one line, it's okay.
Do you have the Krishna book with you?
I have the Veda base.
Okay, so I have to skip what? From woman to? In other words,
His fingers thinking like this, Lord. Once a hand like. No. I thought that it is this thing, but you will have to
okay,
redo the
let's read
line.
from
I'll
the
just
Veda
tell.
base. I made a mistake in copy paste. Okay, here is a paragraph. You can see the Veda base, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, in order to draw the attention of the Lord, the Krishna conscious devotee has to serve him in great love and devotion. Krishna cannot be pleased by any action other than transcendental loving service unto him. Thinking like this, Lord Krishna pressed the feet of the hunchbacked woman with his toes and capturing her cheeks with his fingers, gave her a jerk in order to make her straight. At once, the hunchbacked woman became a beautiful straight girl with broad hips, thin waist, and very nice, well shaped breasts. Since Krishna was pleased with the service of the hunchback woman, and since she was touched by Krishna's hands, she became the most beautiful girl among women. This incident shows that by serving Krishna, the devotee immediately becomes elevated to the most exalted position in all respects. Devotional service is so potent that anyone who takes to it becomes qualified with all godly qualities. Krishna was attracted to the hunchback woman not for her beauty but for her service. As soon as she rendered service, she immediately became the most beautiful woman. A Krishna conscious person does not have to be qualified or beautiful. After becoming Krishna conscious and rendering service unto Krishna, he becomes very much qualified and beautiful. So, very, very important points here, showing the potency of devotional service. That's why our acharyas explain how there is a lot of Shakti in bhakti. The Lord is very much pleased by rendering devotional, when we render devotional service to the Lord. And the benefit is huge. Even a very small, little, tiny service can go a long way in taking us back home, back to Godhead. Okay, let me stop the share here. So in this picture, you can see how he's straightening Kubja. He's putting his leg on her, he's putting his feet on her feet, and he's straightening her out. So this point over here, devotional service is so potent that anyone who takes to it becomes qualified with all godly qualities. So one who takes to devotional service, automatically the qualities of the devatas or godly qualities are manifest in that person. This verse is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. See here. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculation and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? So, a lot of times we get this point. No, people say, but I have never cheated anyone. I have always lived an honest life, and I have been very straightforward in my dealings. So therefore, I am good. No, but the point here is, if one may be leading an honest life, but if one is not engaged in devotional service in bhakti, then that person is not considered to be a good person. See here, Prabhupada. I mean, this translation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada translates this verse, and he's saying that a person devoid of devotional service. So if there is no bhakti and you're engaged in material activities, that person has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. Lord's external energy is what? Mahamaya. Mahamaya, so we have Yoga Maya, Lord's internal energy, and we have Mahamaya, Lord's external energy. We are either engaging in the service of Yoga Maya or Mahamaya, or in other words, we are either engaging in serving the Lord, or we are engaging in serving our own senses. So either we try to satisfy Krishna's senses, or we are trying to gratify our own senses. It's either one of the two things. So if there is bhakti, if we are engaging in devotional practices, then we are good. If we are not engaged in devotional service, if there is no bhakti in the heart, then even though we may externally be leading a very honest life full of principles and values, but if there is no devotional service, if there is no bhakti, then that person has no good qualities. Then that person has no good quality. So one should not think that, oh, okay, I have never cheated anyone, I'm leading an honest life, so I am good. No, that person is not considered to be a person who has good qualities. The only thing that makes one elevated is the factor of whether we are engaging in devotional service or we are not engaging in devotional service. That is what matters. And when we engage in devotional service, then all the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, they become manifest in the body of that person. Why? Because as we keep on engaging in devotional service, then we are purifying ourselves every single day, day after day after day after day. As we engage in devotional service, we are getting purified. So then we are coming to the stage of more and more pure bhakti. So the more the devotional service, the more the purity, and the more such qualities of the demigods will be manifest in the body of that person. It's a very, very important concept to understand. Coming back to Krishna book. When the woman was turned by Krishna's favor into an exquisitely beautiful young girl, she naturally felt very much obliged to Krishna, and she was also attracted by his beauty. Without hesitation, she caught the rear part of his cloth and began to pull it. She smiled flirtatiously and admitted that she was agitated by lusty desires. She forgot that she was on the street and before the elder brother of Krishna and his friends. She frankly proposed to Krishna, "My dear hero, I cannot leave you in this way. You must come to my place. I am already very much attracted to your beauty, so I must receive you well. And since you are the best among males, you must also be very kind upon me." In plain words, she proposed that Krishna come to her home and satisfy her lusty desires. Krishna, of course, felt a little bit embarrassed in front of his elder brother Balaram, and he knew that the girl was simple and attracted. Therefore, he simply smiled at her words. Looking toward his cowherd boyfriends, he replied to the girl, "My dear beautiful girl, I am very much pleased by your invitation, and I must come to your home after finishing my other businesses here. Such a beautiful girl as you are the only means of solace for persons like us who are away from home and not married. Certainly, a suitable girlfriend like you can give us relief from all kinds of mental agitation. Krishna satisfied the girl in this way with sweet words. Leaving her there, he proceeded down the street of the marketplace, where the citizens were prepared to receive him with various kinds of presentations, especially betel nuts, flowers, and sandalwood pulp. So, just as he told Akrura that yes, I will come to your place, but after I finish my other more important businesses, he's telling Kubja also, yes, I will satisfy your desire, I will come to your house, but after I finish off the other businesses. What is it that he wants to do first actually?
Here comes the
Kill Kamsa. Why? Because he wants to
release his parents.
yes, release his parents and also give relief to all the other residents that Kamsa has been harassing.
He also promised Akrura that after killing Kamsa, he will go to his house also, right?
Yes, 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 right. See, now coming to this point, that Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. Let's see here in the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He explains, Krishna is described as Rasa Pradaha, the bestower of ecstatic mellows. To Kubja, Krishna gave Madhurya Ras, conjugal love. To his comrades, he gave Hasya Ras, laughter, and Adbhuta Rasa, wonder to the general public. So, see, people, when he entered Mathura, everybody was stunned by looking at him. No, so he's giving them Adbhuta Ras. And to the comrades, because remember when he cut the joke with Kubja, then he said that we saw how it is described that he wanted to make them laugh, make his friends laugh. So he's giving Hasya Ras, laughter to his comrades, to his friends. And to Kubja, he gave Madhurya Ras, conjugal love, because later he does go to Kubja's house and fulfills her desire. So we know that there are 5 principal rasas which we have discussed before: Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. Neutrality, servitorship, fraternity, parenthood, and conjugal love. So Shantaras examples we have given as, for example, the grass or the trees in Vrindavan, where Krishna is lying down, or he takes the shade of the trees. So they are rendering service but in neutrality. They are not actively engaging in service. Then we have servitorship, Dasya Ras. So example is Hanuman. Hanuman is the perfect servant of Lord Ram. Then we have friendship, Sakya Ras. Example we give here is of Arjuna and Krishna. Then Vatsalya Ras, parenthood, is the ras that is shared by Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, Devaki, Vasudev for Krishna. And conjugal love, Madhurya Ras, is Srimati Radharani and the other gopis of Vrindavan, the wives of Krishna, the wives of Dwaraka, the wives of Krishna and Dwaraka, and also all the Lakshmis. So they all share the conjugal relationship with Krishna. So these are the 5 primary rasas, and every living entity is in any one of these 5 rasas. Now, it may not be revealed to us, or we may not be aware of it until we engage in devotional services. Only after passing time in devotional service, engaging in pure devotional service, only then this relationship will be revealed. But every single devotee, when we start off in Krishna consciousness, then the mood is generally of Dasya Ras. One should not artificially think that, oh, I see Krishna as my son, oh, I see Krishna as my lover. That is more on the spontaneous level. So we should not make that mistake. Our acharyas explained how when we start off in Krishna consciousness, then generally the mood is of dasya, servitorship. Now, apart from these 5 primary rasas, there are the 7 secondary rasas. What are they? Raudra, Adbhuta, Hasya, Veera, Daya, Bhayanaka, and Vibhatsa. Anger, wonder, comedy, chivalry or heroism, mercy, horror, fear, shock or disgust. So these are called secondary rasas because these are temporary rasas. These are the primary rasas because they are the permanent rasas. Or sometimes this primary rasa may be mixed with one secondary rasa for a temporary period of time. And during that temporary period of time, when this mixing takes place, then the secondary rasa will be more prominent. For example, the comedy rasa, when the Gopa friends were laughing, so that time the rasa that they shared with Krishna was hasya ras. But actually the primary rasa is sakya, friendship. So like this, these secondary rasas are more temporary. So therefore, because Krishna is a reservoir of all pleasure, he is called as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Akhila Rasamrita Murti means he is a reservoir of all pleasure, in which, that means in Krishna, all these mellows, all these 12 mellows of service are existing. Krishna is also called as Maharasa Swarupa. Maharasa Swarupa means he is the original form of all rasa. This you will find in the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakti Thakur. He refers to Krishna as Maharasa Swarupa, the great original form of all rasa. So let's see some examples. Now, what is the first rasa here? Raudra, anger. So this example we can say is exhibited by demons like Shishupal. Like Shishupal was very, very angry when Krishna was glorified in the Rajsoya sacrifice. When Yudhishthira did the Rajsoya sacrifice, they had to choose one person who would be worshipped by everyone, the most prominent, the most elevated personality in all that gathering, because for the Yudhishthira Rajsuya sacrifice, all the kings from all over the planet had gathered, and one most prominent person should be chosen who would be worshipped. So that time Krishna was chosen for that worship, and that's what made Shishupal very, very angry, and then he started to offend Krishna, and that's when Shishupal was killed. So that time his mood at that time was of anger or Raudra. Then we have Adbhuta. Adbhuta, we already described how when Krishna entered Mathura, everybody was wonderstruck by seeing Krishna's beauty and his pastimes. They had heard about his pastimes, and so everybody was wonderstruck. Also, when Krishna performs miracles, for example, when Yashoda saw the entire cosmos in Krishna's mouth, when she accused him of eating dirt, and he opened his mouth, so Yashoda saw the entire cosmic manifestation in Krishna's mouth. So that time she was also wonderstruck. But actually, her relationship with Krishna is what? That of parenthood, Vatsalya ras. But this was a temporary manifestation, the secondary manifestation, secondary rasa of Adbhuta at that time had happened. Another example is when Krishna showed the universal form to Arjuna on the battlefield. So that time also Arjuna was wonderstruck. But actually his original relationship with Krishna is what? Sakyaras, Then next we have Hasyaras. Hasyaras also we already discussed how Krishna's playful antics with his friends also make him laugh. Other examples in Vrindavan, when he would steal butter, and sometimes when Yashoda would chase after Krishna in the Damodar Leela, then the neighbors and all, they were seeing and they were laughing. So that is Hasyaras, comedy. Then chivalry, heroism, or Veera Ras. So, for example, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Bhishma was on the opposite side, if Bhishma would have fought on the side of the Pandavas, he would not have seen Krishna the way he was seeing Krishna when he's on the opposite side, because there he is seeing Krishna. There was this incident when Bhishma almost killed Arjuna on the battlefield, and Krishna was so furious that he took the uh, wheel of a broken chariot and he rushed towards Bhishma. So that mood that Bhishma saw at that time, that is considered to be in this particular rasa, heroism, because Bhishma is relating to Krishna in that way, that Krishna is so furious that he is rushing towards Bhishma to kill him, because Bhishma almost killed Arjuna on the battlefield. So this rasa Bhishma would have not enjoyed if Bhishma would have fought the war on the side of the Pandavas. So this is the example. And then we have Daya rasa, or the mercy rasa, or it's also called as Karuna, compassion, pity. So there is this time when Mother Yashoda when she was thinking that, oh, when my dear Lala, when my Krishna, my dear child, he will go to graze the cows in the forest, all these stones and thorns on the way will hurt the feet of my dear son. So she got a pair of shoes made for Krishna. And she told Krishna, you wear these when you go to the forest so that your feet will be protected. At that time, he told Yashoda that, but then what about so many cows? Do our cows also have this kind of protection for their feet? So Yashoda said, I cannot make so many shoes because Nanda Maharaj has 900,000 cows. So 900,000 into 4. She said, I cannot make so many shoes. So then Krishna said that, no, then even I don't want to wear the shoes, because if they are going barefooted, then even I will go barefooted. So this is the compassion or Karuna Rasa that Mother Yashoda had for Krishna, no? That thorns will be pricking the soft feet of my dear son. Then Bhayanaka, horror, fear, is again with when it comes to the demons. For example, when Hiranyakashipu saw the fearful form of Narsimadev was so furious, no? So that's how Hiranyakashipu saw Narsimadev at that time, no? He experienced fear and horror upon seeing Narsimadev. Then Vibhatsa, ghastliness or disgust, is when if one sees the scene of the way Narsimadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he just tore open his body with his bare nails, and he removed the intestines from inside Hiranyakashipu's body and he put it around his neck as a garland, no? Because Narsimadev was so furious. So he decorated himself with the intestines of Hiranyakashipu. So that is a very, very disgusting scene to witness, no? So that is the ghastliness. So sometimes it can arise in the context of when demons are destroyed, no? So anyway, these are the secondary rasas. So the point here is Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. All these rasas, all relationships are there in Krishna. However, one may relate to the Lord, everything is there in Krishna. Nothing is required outside of Krishna. Oh, we didn't finish the commentary. Coming back to the commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Kubja was carrying various bodily ointments such as sandalwood paste. This young hunchback girl was actually a partial expansion of Krishna's wife, Satyabhama. Satyabhama is Krishna's internal energy known as Bhu Shakti, and this expansion of hers known as Prithvi represents the earth, which was bent down by the great burden of countless wicked rulers. Prithvi, a topmost devotee, showed her devotion by offering the essence of the earth element, fragrance, represented by the sandalwood paste to Krishna, whom she met on the road. Accepting the sandalwood with great joy, Krishna bestowed Madhurya Ras on her and said, O my devotee earth, know that the burdens caused by Kamsa and others have now been taken by me. Therefore now you should stand up straight. Comforting in this way, Krishna straightened out the blissful Kubja. Some acharyas explain the events in this way. So actually, this hunchback woman Kubja is a partial expansion of Krishna's wife Satyabhama, and she represents earth, Bhu Shakti or Prithvi. And why is she bent? Her bending down, her hunchback is actually a representation of the countless burden that the earth is experiencing because of this, because of the demons who are causing havoc and torturing the devotees. So therefore, this hunchback of Kubja is representing the burden that the earth is feeling because of the atrocities of the demons on the planet. And Krishna straightening out Kubja is an indication that now I will release the earth from these burdens caused by Kamsa and these other demons. Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
Does this have a reference to the beginning of the Krishna book, wherein the Bhumi takes the form of a cow? It goes to the Lord Brahma, and then they go to Mahavishnu, and they request him to take care of the demons.
Yes.
So is this in connection with that?
Yeah, you can connect the two because that was Mother Earth who had gone and prayed, and here Kubja is a partial representation of Satyabhama, his wife, also representing Bhushakti. Yeah, you can connect the two. So because she is a partial representation of his wife, therefore he is bestowing her with Madhurya Ras. Okay, coming back to Krishna book. The mercantile men in the market worshipped Krishna and Balaram with great respect. When Krishna was passing through the street, all the women in the surrounding houses came to see him, and some of the younger ones almost fainted, being captivated by his beauty. Their hair and tight clothing loosened, and they forgot where they were standing. Krishna next inquired from the citizens as to the location of the place of the sacrifice. Kamsa had arranged for the sacrifice called Dhanuryagya, and to designate this particular sacrifice, he had placed a big bow near the sacrificial altar. The bow was very big and wonderful and resembled a rainbow in the sky. Within the sacrificial arena, this bow was protected by many constables and watchmen engaged by King Kamsa. As Krishna and Balaram approached the bow, they were warned not to go nearer, but Krishna ignored this warning. He forcibly went up and immediately took the big bow in his left hand. After stringing the bow in the presence of the crowd, he drew it and broke it at the middle into two parts, exactly as an elephant breaks sugarcane in the field. Everyone present appreciated Krishna's power. The sound of the bow cracking filled both sky and land and was heard by Kamsa. When Kamsa heard what had happened, he began to fear for his life. So just imagine Kamsa has this huge big bow and he has kept it there to designate the Dhanur Yagya, and it is being guarded by so many soldiers and so many guards, and just Krishna just goes and he breaks it into two, just as how an elephant breaks a sugarcane. So the vibration of that breaking was heard in the sky and in the land. And of course, Kamsa, who was in his palace, he also heard this and he started to fear for his life. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
Is there any significance to this particular bow that Krishna has now broken?
Not that I have read about it. It only says that it was Kamsa's bow. I don't know if there's a backstory. I've never read something like that or heard.
Okay. Okay.
The caretakers of the bow, who were standing by watching, became very angry, and with their respective weapons in hand, they rushed toward Krishna, shouting, arrest him, kill him, kill him. Krishna and Balaram were surrounded. When they understood the sinister motives of the guards, they became angry, and taking up the two pieces of the broken bow, they began to beat down all of Kamsa's caretakers. While this turmoil was going on, Kamsa sent a small group of troops to assist the caretakers, but Krishna and Balaram fought with them also and killed them. So Krishna and Balaram, with that broken bow only, they were killing these other guards who rushed towards Krishna and Balaram after he broke the bow. And then Kamsa sent more people, and Krishna and Balaram killed all these other people as well. After this, Krishna did not proceed further into the sacrificial arena, but went out the gate and proceeded toward their resting camp. Along the way, he visited various places in Mathura city with great delight. Seeing the activities and wonderful prowess of Krishna, all the citizens of Mathura began to consider the two brothers to be demigods who had come down to Mathura, and they all looked upon them with great astonishment. The two brothers strolled carefree in the street, not caring for the law and order of Kamsa. So after killing the bow, now they have come out of that sacrificial arena and they are proceeding towards their resting camp. As sunset approached, Krishna, Balaram, and their cowherd boyfriends went to the outskirts of the city where all their carts were assembled. Thus, Krishna and Balaram gave some preliminary hints of their arrival to Kamsa, and he could understand what severe type of danger was awaiting him the next day in the sacrificial arena. Yeah, Shailesh?
Is he trying to warn Kansa or trying to put fear in the mind of Kansa by the fact that he is now going back instead of staying in the city,
Yes, he wants to
and he has
disobey
performed such
Kamsa
a
because see, Kamsa has been terrorizing everyone, and everybody has to follow his law and order. But Krishna and Balaram, they want to disobey Kamsa now. So they don't care for Kamsa. That's the message.
And is it also to put fear into his mind? Because
it doesn't say they want to put fear in his mind, but it's a natural side effect of what Krishna and Balaram are doing. When Krishna and Balaram had been going from Vrindavan to Mathura, the inhabitants of Vrindavan had imagined the great fortune of the citizens of Mathura in being able to see the wonderful beauty of Krishna, who is worshipped by his pure devotees as well as the goddess of fortune. The fantasies of the residents of Vrindavan were now actually realized, for the citizens of Mathura became fully satisfied by seeing Krishna. When Krishna returned to his camp, he was taken care of by servants who washed his lotus feet, gave him a nice seat, and offered him milk and palatable dishes. After taking supper and thinking of the next day's program, he very peacefully took rest. Thus, he passed the night there. So now Krishna has returned to his camp and he's resting. On the other side, when Kamsa came to understand about the breaking of his wonderful bow and killing of the caretakers and soldiers by Krishna, he could partially realize the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He could realize that the eighth son of Devaki had appeared and that now his death was imminent. Thinking of his imminent death, he was restless the entire night. He began to have many inauspicious visions, and he could understand that Krishna and Balaram, who had approached the presence of the city, were his messengers of death. Kamsa saw various kinds of inauspicious signs while both awake and dreaming. So here Krishna is resting peacefully and Kamsa is spending a restless night. He is not able to sleep. When he looked in the mirror, he could not see his head, although the head was actually present. He saw the luminaries in the sky in double, although they were only once set factually. He began to see holes in his shadow, and he heard a high buzzing sound within his ears. All the trees before him appeared to be made of gold, and he could not see his own footprints in dust or muddy clay. In dreams, he saw various kinds of ghosts being carried in a carriage drawn by donkeys. He also dreamed that someone gave him poison and he was drinking it. He dreamt also that he was going naked in a garland of flowers and was smearing oil all over his body. Thus, as Kamsa saw various signs of death while both awake and sleeping, he could understand that death was certain, and thus in great anxiety he could not rest that night. Just after the night expired, he busily arranged for the wrestling match. So these are all kinds of inauspicious signs that Kamsa is seeing to indicate that death is fast approaching. The wrestling arena was nicely cleansed and decorated with flags, festoons, and flowers, and the match was announced by the beating of kettle drums. The platform appeared very beautiful due to streamers and flags. Different types of galleries were arranged for respectable persons, kings, brahmanas, and kshatriyas. The various kings had reserved thrones, and others had arranged seats also. Kamsa finally arrived, accompanied by various ministers and secretaries, and he sat on the raised platform especially meant for him. Unfortunately, although he was sitting in the center of all his governing executive heads, his heart was palpitating in fear of death. Cruel death evidently does not care even for a person as powerful as Kamsa. When death comes, it does not care for anyone's exalted position. So see, Kamsa, he is in his own kingdom, right? He is in his own kingdom. He's the king. He has so many guards and soldiers who are there to protect him, but still his heart was palpitating. He was fearful of Krishna because death, he knows, is going to strike. When everything was complete, the wrestlers who were to exhibit their skills before the assembly walked into the arena. They were decorated with nice ornaments and dress. Some of the famous wrestlers were Chanur, Mushtik, Shala, Kuta, and Toshala. Being enlivened by the musical concert, they passed through with great alacrity. All the respectable cowherd men who came from Vrindavan, headed by Nanda, were also welcomed by Kamsa. After presenting Kamsa with the milk and products they had brought with them, the cowherd men also took their respective seats by the side of the king on a platform especially meant for them. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 42nd chapter of Krishna, the breaking of the bow in the sacrificial arena. So now Kamsa has met with Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men. They have brought some offerings to pay as taxes to Kamsa, and Kamsa actually has welcomed them, and he also tells them something which I will read. Give me a minute, I'll bring the book. So this is from the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In the last verse, he writes, I'm reading here, 10.42.38, commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Kamsa respectfully called Nanda Maharaj and the leaders of Raja forward so that they could make their offerings to the central government. Kamsa assured Nanda as follows: My dear king of Raja, you are the most important of my village rulers. Yet, even though you have come to Mathura from your cowherd village, you have not come to visit me. Is that because you are frightened? Don't think that your two sons are bad because they broke the bow. I invited them here because I heard they were extremely powerful, and I have arranged this wrestling match as a test of their strength. Please come forward without hesitation. Don't be afraid. Nanda Maharaj noticed his two sons were not present. Apparently, out of disrespect for King Kamsa's order, they had taken the morning off and gone elsewhere. Thus, Kamsa delegated some cowherd men who were affectionate close relatives to go look for Krishna and Balram and advise them to behave properly and come back to the wrestling arena. Upananda and others quickly came forward and offered yogurt, ghee, cloth, and gold coins to King Kamsa. Not seeing any space on the platform of the king, Nanda and other cowherd men sat in the galleries. So this is the conversation that happened between Kamsa and Nanda Maharaj. Okay. Now let's see Kubja's past life from the Garga Samhita. Sri Bahulasva said, What severe austerities did the maid-servant Kubja perform in her previous birth that she so pleased Lord Krishna, whom even the demigods cannot attain? Gazing at Lord Ram in the Panchavati forest, a demoness named Shurpanakha fell passionately in love with him. Seeing that Lord Rama had vowed to accept only one wife and had not fallen in love with her, Ravana's sister Shurpanakha angrily ran to devour Sita Devi. At this, Lord Rama's younger brother Lakshmana became angry and with a sharp-edged sword quickly cut away her ears and nose. Her nose cut away, she went to Lanka and told Ravana what had happened. Then, unhappy at heart, she went to Pushkara Tirtha, wishing to get Lord Ram as her husband. For 10,000 years, Shurpanakha stayed under water and meditated on Lord Shiva. Pleased by this, Lord Shiva, who is the master of the demigods and the husband of Uma, came to Pushkara Tirtha and said, Ask for a boon. Shurpanakha said, You are the great master of the demigods. You are dear to the great saints. You have the power to give all benedictions. Please grant me that Sri Rama will become my husband. Lord Shiva said, O demoness, please listen. At the present time, your boon cannot be granted. In the future, at the end of Dwapara Yuga, in Mathura city, it will be granted to you. Of this, there is no doubt. Sri Narada said, O noble-hearted one, in Mathura city, the demoness Shurpanakha, who could assume any form at will, became the girl named Kubja. By Lord Shiva's blessing, she became Lord Krishna's beloved. Now I have explained this to you. What more do you wish to hear? So, Kubja, in her previous life, as explained in the Garga Samhita, was actually Shurpanakha, Ravana's sister. She performed 10,000 years of austerity underwater, and therefore Lord Shiva granted her the boon that she will become the beloved of Lord Krishna. Now, there is one more place in the Garga Samhita which explains this. The groups of gopis headed by Sri Lalita said, The girl Kubja in Mathura city had been Manthara in Ayodhya, where she stopped the coronation of Lord Ramachandra. O gopis, what offense had Kubja not committed? So the gopis, they are discussing amongst themselves, and they are saying that actually this hunchback woman Kubja, She was Manthara in Ram Leela. So remember, Manthara also had a hunchback. No, the Manthara is the one who churned the mind of Kaikai and made her ask for the two boons from her husband, so that Ram will not be crowned as the king, but her own son Bharat would be crowned as the next king. So Manthara also had a hunchback, and now Kubja also has come as a hunchback woman. So there are two places in the Garga Samhita. One says that she was actually Shurpanakha in the previous lifetime, and this other place says that she was Manthara in the previous lifetime. So how to understand this? How to reconcile? What do you think?
I think both are right.
Both are right. How?
Because I think you mentioned it before, if I'm not wrong, that in different, what do you say, kalpa, right?
Mm-hmm.
This happens. So in one kalpa, Manthara might become a Kubja, but in another kalpa, it might be Surpankha.
Yes, exactly. Spot on. No, so remember, Krishna comes once every kalpa. One kalpa is 1 day of Lord Brahma. And how do you calculate 1 day of Lord Brahma? It's all the 4 yugas put together multiplied by 1,000. So that makes for 4,320,000,000 years. That is Krishna, that is Brahma's 1 day. So, and the same amount of years make for 1 night of Brahma. So one in more than 8 million, 8 billion years, once in more than 8 billion years, Krishna descends to our universe. Okay. Now, similarly, he is going to other universes to perform the same pastimes. Now, it's not necessary that every time he comes, the pastime is played out in the exact same way. Of course, the major happenings will be the same, but the details may vary in different kalpas. So, in one kalpa, as Shreya said, it was Shurpanakha who came as Kubja, and in another kalpa, it was Mantra who came as Shurpanakha. So this is called as kalpa bhed, kalpa bhed. So sometimes in Shastra, it may appear that there are contradictions, but how to understand? By understanding this concept of kalpa bhed. The major incidents will be the same, but the details can vary. Krishna does not have to necessarily do the leelas in the exact same way every time he descends. There can be variations. See this, if you go to Mathura, you will see this temple, Kubja Krishna temple it is called. It's the only temple where Krishna is with Kubja. In Mathura, you can see Kubja Krishna temple. So these are the deities there. Actually, this temple is not in a very good condition because of lack of donations. There is a dire need to preserve and protect this temple. Otherwise, over a period of time, then this temple will no longer exist. It's already in a very bad condition. I don't know now if they have tried to revive the temple. Anyway. See here, this is the entrance of the temple. Sri Kubja Krishna temple it is called in Mathura. And even our president had gone there to visit this temple. See here you have a close-up of the deities of Kubja and Krishna. This is one place you want to visit when you visit Mathura. On that note, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's presentation. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Yeah, Shreya, you have your hand raised?
Yes, so I have a question regarding, like if we go to like Mathura Vrindavan, there are so many places where people say that this pastime was performed by Krishna here, and then there are so many like stories also made up, So then how do we like differentiate or understand like which is the actual few places? Because sometimes local, I don't know about local people, but sometimes people just have like man-made places that, oh, Krishna said here or something like that,
So there are guides which are sold, genuine guides, which you can buy and you can visit the places for your parikrama. No? For Vrindavan parikrama, you will get some books, ISKCON authorized books that you can buy and you can follow them. so that you know for sure that this is actually most of these places in Vrindavan, the genuine places, were discovered by the six Goswamis, especially Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. They were instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go and discover the lost places of Krishna Leelas in Vrindavan. That was one of the instructions that they had received. And most of these places were discovered because when Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, when they went to Vrindavan on the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it was a complete forest only filled with tulsi plants. That's why it's called Vrindavan. It's full of Vrinda Devi is the name of Tulsi Maharani in the human-like form. So it was fully covered with tulsi plants. So they were the ones who discovered these lost places where Krishna Leela had taken place. And you have books to guide you through the parikrama path of Vrindavan, which can help you. Okay. Anything else? Yes, Priyanka?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I have one question, but it is not related to this class. Is it okay to ask that question?
Yeah, let's see. Your question is?
Yeah, before the creation of this material world, where were all these souls like where were we sitting before the creation of this material world? If we were in the spiritual world, then the question is, as Kṛṣṇa says that those who go to Golok never come back. So if we were in the spiritual world before the creation of this material world, then why did we come back?
If we were in the spiritual world before the material world was created, why did we come to the material world? Because once we attain spiritual world, we don't come here again. That's your question.
Yes, we don't. As said in Bhagavad Gita, right? Those who go to the spiritual world, they will never come back. As Srila Prabhupada also said that those who go to Golok will never come back to this world. Then why we came to this world? I know that we have the desire, that is why this material world, but the statement becomes then contradictory, right? Because it is said that those who once go to Golok will never come back to this material world.
See,
Then this
the point
sounds
is,
contradictory.
yeah. See, the point is, originally we were in the spiritual world. What Krishna says that once you come back to the spiritual world, then we don't fall down again. So going back means when Krishna says go back to the spiritual world means originally we were there. Krishna is not saying all those who are in the spiritual world will never fall down. Krishna is saying that once you go back to the spiritual world, which means you have already made one trip here, minimum once, and then we go back, then we don't fall down again. You see the difference?
Everyone is making one trip back to material world.
At least, technically, at least. Because Krishna is saying, once you come back to the spiritual world, Krishna is not saying once you are. No, we are there in the spiritual world. Then the desire comes to our mind to enjoy. So we fall down and then we go back to the spiritual world. Now we don't fall down again because we have gone through that experience.
Yes, noted.
So this example, if I have said before, no, you tell a child, don't put your finger in the fan. The child, out of curiosity, will go and put the finger in the fan. Then the finger is cut, he is bleeding, he goes to the hospital, he gets some injections. Now will the child go back and put the finger in the fan? Will he do it again?
Unlikely.
So this is what it means. Krishna says when you come back to the spiritual world, then you don't fall down again. But originally we were there, and the desire to enjoy came to our minds, and that's why we fell down. Now we go through these experiences in the material world. We pass through 8,400,000 bodies, and then we go through birth, death, disease, and old age. Now we have that experience of what it is to bleed. And then now when we go back to the spiritual world, we don't fall down again. The thing is going back to the spiritual world. The key word there is back. And you're asking about material creation. Well, it's a process that goes on continuously. There is creation, there is destruction, again there is creation, again there is destruction, again creation, so this is all happening with one breath of Mahavishnu. He's just breathing in and breathing out. That is creation and destruction. So that is something that is continuously happening. It's not a one-time thing. Creation is not a one-time thing. It's just one breath of Mahavishnu. And when there is destruction,
Yes,
then
yes,
all
yes.
the souls
So,
go into the body of Mahavishnu, right? When he breathes in, all the planets, all
yes,
the universes, and all we living entities, we are in the body of Mahavishnu. And when he breathes out again, then all the living entities are again put into this material world, and we carry on from where we left off. So because we are in the body of Mahavishnu doesn't mean that we have got moksha. It's like a waiting place for us. And again, when he breathes out, everything continues from where it was left out. So if we left Krishna conscious at 50% and we are in the body of Mahavishnu, we still cannot go to the spiritual world because we have not finished our 100%. So again, we come back and continue from that 51% onwards. So it's something that's happening simultaneously: creation, destruction, creation, destruction.
yes, then it is also because as long as there are souls who still want to enjoy, but as soon as each and every soul are done with this material world, then there will be no longer creation and destruction of this material world. Is that correct? As long as there are some souls who still want to enjoy, then till that time the material world will be created again, then destroyed, and the cycle will go on.
Exactly, yes. This material world is created only to fulfill the desires of those jivas who in the spiritual world want to enjoy independently from Krishna. So therefore, this material world is created to fulfill the desires of those jivas. So if there is nobody who wants to enjoy, then there is no need for the world, for Krishna to create this material world. But the point is there will always be people, jivas, who will desire to enjoy independent of Krishna. That is always going to be there. Just as how in every country, even no matter how much law and order and how wonderful the government is, there will always be people who will break the law and order situation. So therefore, every country will have a prison house. This material world is a prison house.
Yes, yes, right, right. So then, yeah, there is no option of permanent destruction of this material world.
No, there's no permanent destruction, because after destruction, again, there is creation.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because there is always those souls who have the desire.
Yes, there will
Yeah,
always
and
be
then
such
I have
jivas.
another question. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I was asking about that. Um, so there are certain set of jivas who fall down, whereas there are another set of jivas who never fall down, right?
Yes.
I mean, there are certain set of jivas who have to make the trip back to this material world with, uh, and there are another set of jivas who are eternal associate of Krishna. They will never fall down. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
You're
Dhanavad Pranaam.
welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I would like to ask you a question. The same question she asked you about, that we were in the spiritual world, then we were having enjoyment, spirit coming down to this material world. Then again, when our conditioning is over, our spiritual light is enlightened and advanced, we go back to spiritual world. My question is, if we were already there in the spiritual world and we have this enjoyment spirit, in the spiritual, transcendental, internal, blissful, all knowledge, perfect world with Krishna. And we have this, and then we came down here, we got conditioned. So, so is it possible we can live in the spiritual planets with Krishna and engage spiritually, and then have this desire to separately enjoy from God in the spiritual planet Vaikuntha, Loka, Golok, Vrindavan, and then come down here and then be conditioned and then again be unconditioned and go back?
Yes, because when we have the desire to enjoy, that means our consciousness has been contaminated, right? We want to enjoy independently from Krishna, so we fall down. But here we undergo purificatory process. We undertake devotional service. When we get frustrated, when we see, we get frustrated with this material world. When we were in the spiritual world, we were enjoying unlimited bliss. Okay.
One
Now we
sentence.
want to enjoy unlimited bliss in the material world. We are searching for happiness. So it's only natural that we want to be happy, but our quest for happiness is getting frustrated. We think that our home, our car, or our relationships will give us happiness. Then we get frustrated in our attempts, no, and then we realize that no, actually I'm spirit soul and I will only be happy when I am with Krishna. So then one the jiva takes to bhakti, and through bhakti then we get purified. When we get purified, then we go back home, back to Godhead, back to the spiritual world.
So when we are in spiritual world, we did not take to bhakti, we take to enjoy separately, and so we came down here and we have material desires. But when we are in the spiritual world, how do we get material desires? Because in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha and Golok Vrindavan, it says that you cannot go there with material desires.
Exactly. There is no space for material desires in the material world. So when the thought came to us, immediately we fell down because there is no space for such consciousness in the spiritual world. And how that thought occurs to us is because we have what is called as free will. So because we have a free will, the moment that thought even comes to our mind that what would it be like to enjoy like Krishna, the moment that thought appears, we fall down because
But
there is
that
no space for such consciousness in the spiritual world.
But that free will that we have to separately desire material desire and to be happy separate from Krishna, that in the Shastra it says once we are there, we cannot have those type of desires because only you can attain those planets when you are one with Krishna. One meaning when you are in the guidance of Krishna, you are dependent on him completely and you're completely in Krishna consciousness. So if we are already in Krishna consciousness completely, then we have this material desire because of our free will over there. I don't understand this conception. We are there, we have this material desire, and we have free will, and then we drop back to this conditioning life of this material world. This is
Because
very
the free will, see, you have to always understand, you have to accommodate the free will in your understanding. If you don't understand free will in your understanding, you will not be able to understand this. The free will is always there for the jiva. Even
yes,
after we go back to the spiritual world, the free will is always going to be there.
but
Now, take this as an example, okay? You're driving on the road. If you are a good citizen, you will stop at the red light. But you always have the choice to not stop at the red light and speed away. Yes or no?
yes, absolutely.
You always have that, right? There is no policeman standing at every signal ensuring that you are going to stop there at the red light. You know the rule and regulation and you have to stop there at the red light. But you have the free will to break that red light and speed away. Now, when you break the red light and speed away, then you will be implicated by the law of the land. So, like that, the free will is always there. The rule and regulations are always there in the land, and a good citizen always abides by those rules. So, when we are in the spiritual world, we abide by, yes, there is unlimited bliss, and we are servants of Krishna. We cannot enjoy independent of Krishna, but we have the free will to race ahead.
We
In
can
this,
only
in this
attain
case,
the
to fall
spiritual world.
down.
We can only attain the spiritual world if our free will is with Krishna. If it is in the plan of Krishna, once we have purified, we have been there in the spiritual,
Yes,
then we
yes,
cannot fall down again here. The Shastra says because we already purified ourselves. And if
yes.
that case in the beginning that we were already purified, then we got contaminated because of this free will. But the Shastra says when this free will is already purified, then we come to Krishna and then we don't drop back in this conditioning of material life and material Mayavadi senses. So basically, when we are already there and then we are dropped back here, isn't it like that Brahma ji was appointed to do material creation, and then the in living entities were created and the senses were made and everything like that?
Now, what about Brahma creating the living and the senses? What that is another subject matter.
What I'm trying to say, maybe when Brahmaji was appointed, he was the first living entity and he was appointed for the living creation to create and the living entities to create. At that time, we were created and then we were here and we had to purify ourselves and we have to return back to the spiritual planet.
Brahma is the creator, but he is only the secondary creator. The jivas are coming from Krishna. Brahma is creating the bodies. He is not creating the spirit souls. That creator is Krishna. Brahma is only creating the bodies.
Yes, that's what
The
Srimad
jivas
Bhagavatam.
are created by Krishna.
Yes, Srimad Bhagavatam says that.
Yes. So now what is the question?
My question, I just cannot understand like how we are now very purified, we have a free will, we are there, now we are coming back here, then we'll have to purify ourselves again, and then because the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam, if we are already in spiritual world, though we have a free will, that free will is with Krishna, meaning it is in unity with Krishna, then how do we get this desire of material desire? How do we get the taste of material desire?
How do we get the desire is because we have the free will. See, we are in the spiritual world, we are in a purified state. Okay. That doesn't mean we will eternally remain in a purified state because we have the free will. So the moment that thought appears, it means that now the consciousness is not pure as it was before. And because it is not pure as it was before, therefore we fall down. Being in the spiritual world means yes, we are in a purified state, but that doesn't mean that there is no chance of getting contaminated. That chance of being contaminated is there because of the free will, and the moment that slight tinge of contamination is there by our thought to enjoy independent of Krishna, that very moment we fall down because now that purification is not there.
Prabhupada, I mean not Prabhupada, but Krishna in Bhagavad Gita promises that if your free will is with like united with my plan, if you surrender to me completely, you will not come back to this material world. And we are already in the spiritual planet and we have dropped from the spiritual planet because of our free will. But if our free will is united with Krishna's will, then how do we fall down? Because if our free will is already spiritualized, it is not contaminated, it is above the three modes.
See, you are saying that when our free will is aligned with Krishna, we are in the spiritual world. So that's exactly what even I am saying. As long as our free will is aligned with Krishna, we are in the spiritual world. But the moment the thought comes to enjoy independent of Krishna, now we are not aligned with Krishna.
But
So
that
therefore
thought
we
cannot
fall
come.
down.
The thought cannot come because our free will is
No, that's
Krishna.
the mistake you're making. It's not that the thought cannot come. The thought can come. The thought can come.
Even though we are outside the covering of the three modes, that thought can come.
Yes, the thought can come even when you're in the spiritual world. That's what free will means. That's what free will means. The thought can come. That's what free will means.
So
It's
free
not that
will
the
is
thought cannot
united
come.
with Krishna's will, and free will is united with Krishna's will, and even then we are having these thoughts of material enjoyment in the
The free
waking
will
thought.
is united with Krishna's will. That's why we are in the spiritual world. When we want to enjoy independently, the free will is not aligned with Krishna's will. Therefore, we fall down.
Why would anybody want to enjoy separately from
Because we
Krishna?
are foolish. Why? Now that's another question. Why we do that? Because we are foolish.
But we are in completely bliss with him.
Yes. That also is true. We are in complete bliss with him. Therefore, we foolishly think that we will enjoy independently of him. Therefore, we fall down.
Then it's a very scary situation for our senses.
Yeah. So you just chant Hare Krishna, be happy, and go back home, back to Godhead. And
Mataji,
never
thank you
come
for
back
your
again.
blessings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shreya?
So just a follow-up of what she was saying, So now, okay, we have fallen and then now we finally go back and then we don't come, right? That's what Krishna promises.
Yes.
And free will is also there. So now when
Yes.
we go back, we can, out of our foolishness, we can act out of our free will and come back then?
Free will is also, even when we go back, still free will is there. But now we will not have that desire because we have already bled. We have already put our finger in the fan. We have already bled the finger, and therefore we have already had that experience, and we will not do it again. But free will is still there. But now we will not desire like that because we've already had that experience, the bad experience.
Okay.
Just
Got
as how the child now, once he put his finger in the fan, he will never do it again, right?
it. Right. So first time we didn't had that experience. So
Right.
then we just thought that
Exactly.
let's
Yes.
just
Right. Yes. But even after we go back, the free will still remains. The free will never is taken away from us. Never.
But Mataji, one question. Even if one goes above the three modes, the still, of course, the free will is there, but still the desire to in the material world is there, even if you're above the three modes.
The possibility is that, yes, when we were in the spiritual world, we were above the three modes. But still we had the desire to enjoy away from Krishna. Therefore, we fell down. So that free will means you can always have that desire. That is always going to be there. Krishna never takes away that free will from us. Because if there is no free will, that means we are robots, right? But the relationship between God and us is based on love. We should desire to be with Krishna. That's when we are with Krishna in the spiritual world. If we desire to be away from Krishna, and Krishna says, okay, go ahead and enjoy, try to enjoy. Then we get frustrated and then we go back to Krishna. It's just like the son. The father provides for the son, right? But sometimes the son says, no, I want to go independent. I don't want to stay with my parents. So then the son goes, and then he may have to have some bad experiences. But then the son, after some time, he may come back to the father, and the father very lovingly receives him with open arms. So this is, you can try to understand this by understanding the relationship between a father and a son. So yes, that free will is there even when we are in the spiritual world, and the spiritual world is above the three modes, because the free will is always there, no matter where we are, and no matter which stage of life we are in, whether we are in the spiritual world or in the material world, before or after falling down, that free will is always there, always there.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready for the exam?
Mataji, one clarification.
Yes,
The
Priyanka.
one clarification, Mataji. Yeah, the free will in the spiritual world is not controlled by the three modes of material nature, but only and only the thought that I want to enjoy independent of Krishna. The free will in the spiritual world is not like the material, the choices that we make in this material world, right? The only thought that in the spiritual world is that I want to enjoy independent of Krishna, right? Not like any other material choices that we make in this world, like I want to live in a big house and all that. In
No,
the spiritual world, the only thought will come, yeah, right?
the whole
Because
thing
in the
comes
spiritual
with
world,
that.
we are not influenced by the remote.
See, the whole thing, this whole desire, I want a good house, I want a big bungalow, I want a good car, everything is coming because we want to enjoy. The bottom line is we want to enjoy. So we can enjoy with Krishna. When we try to enjoy independent of Krishna, everything else stems from that only. Everything comes from that. The thought that, because see, by nature Jiva is a servant. By nature we are all servants. Jiva means we have to serve, but we want to become masters. So we want to be served, we don't want to serve. That's the mentality of a conditioned soul, that everybody should serve me. No, I walk into a temple, everybody should serve me. Hmm? Not that I walk into a temple and I ask others, how can I serve you? No, what service can I do? So enjoying independent of Krishna means we want to be served, we don't want to serve. That's what it means. And everything else comes from that root thought. All the desires to enjoy in the material world actually is a sub thought of all this. This main thought is that I want to enjoy independently from Krishna, means I want to be served, I want to be the master, I don't want to be the servant. It all stems from that.
Can I share something, Mataji?
Yes.
I'm also thinking the same way when you explain. maybe I was feeling that why always Krishna? I want to be without Krishna. Maybe we think like that. So that's why we came here to experience this.
Exactly, yes. And Krishna says, okay, you want to enjoy independent from me, then go ahead, have the experience. You come back when you want to be with me. No, because Krishna does not force. Where there is force, there is no love. If somebody keeps a gun on your head and say that you love me, you may say I love you, but do you really love him? No, it's an emotion. So the relationship between Bhagavan and Bhakta is based on love, on emotion. It's not based on force. Therefore, Krishna never takes away the free will. We have to want it, we have to desire it to be with him.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Ah, yes, curiosity killed the cat. But there is no sin that we can commit that will eternally condemn us. Krishna is not going to eternally condemn us to rot in hell. No, Krishna is like a loving father. He has opened up the path. He tells us, okay, you want to come back. This is the way you come back. Bhakti, bhakti, bhakti. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Only bhakti. So Krishna says, this is the way. You can take it and you can come back to me. And Krishna is waiting for us with open arms. So it's not that we are condemned forever. Okay, that option is always there for us to go back to Krishna. Okay, are we ready for the exam? Okay,
Yes.
here is your link.